Hey babe, I hope you've somehow managed to remain unharmed despite the roughness within which we've been forced to exist in the recent times. And if you're brave enough to still be out on the streets today, I hope you make it back home in one piece tonight. Thank you for being all that you are out there. It's really sad that this is what needs to happen for the government to pay attention. And I am so sorry to those who have lost loved ones to the current wave of protests. I would have really loved to stand on a soapbox and give you notes on how to cope emotionally with the current times, but there's really no coping with this. You can unplug and unwind as much as you can afford to, and I genuinely encourage you to protect yourself as much as you're able to. But at the end of the day, the problems we face are as real as can be, and they won't go away just because we stop thinking about them. So I'm sorry, babe, but there's no effective strategy for coping through this season. The collective anger and anxiety will continue to ravage us until there's a tangible shift in our political culture. So do brace for impact. With that said, I would urge you to be mindful of what it means to not cope as a society. There will be a lot of strong emotions bubbling just under the surface, waiting to be triggered by the flimsiest of sparks. When everyone is angry, frustrated, or anxious, you can expect to see more violent outbursts. Even within interactions that were presumably safe and predominantly non-violent. And this is not me justifying possible abuse, no. I just want you to be more aware in your engagements. This is not the time to antagonize people for shits and giggles. If you trigger an outburst, it will not be your fault if it turns violent, but you will be responsible for putting yourself in that bad situation. And I know that this can be easily misconstrued, especially within the current political contexts. So let me just clarify for the people at the back. Fault implies blame. And in a violent incident, the blame fully lies with the person that threw the first punch. Responsibility, on the other hand, covers the whole situation and the active roles played by all those involved. For example, if we are disagreeing about something and you insult me or say something that I find very offensive, then I smack you. You are responsible for the violence that follows in response to how you've insulted me. But I still take the blame for the escalation, and in most cases, it might actually be an activated fight or flight response that I had no control over at the time. I still take the blame because I had the option to just insult you back or even walk away once I notice that you've been activated and are no longer rational. We can preach about emotional regulation until we lose our voices, but we still need to accept that we are human beings, and a big part of being our true selves involves experiencing the entire range of human emotions, including blinding rage. Many of the most heinous crimes are not premeditated. Someone just gets really mad and acts out their emotions with catastrophic consequences. I remember the first time I sat in therapy to explore my anger. The takeaway that I still carry with me was that when you stop experiencing anger, it most likely means that you're no longer in attunement with yourself and your needs. So you have to learn to listen to your anger instead of fighting, suppressing, or acting it out. And while this is a goal that you can set for yourself with actionable steps and measurable milestones, you cannot imagine that everyone you interact with has healthy ways to process and express their anger. Most people go about life waiting to explode on unsuspecting people, sometimes even unprovoked. So when there's a lot of anger floating around, the best way to stay safe would be to practice mindfulness in your interactions, and not just with strangers. Your people can be triggered too, and sometimes temporary emotions can ruin relationships that were otherwise considered as solid. Now, I do not mean to take up any more of your time, but I do hope the week will be kinder to us all. I really do. Be safe, okay? Bye.